Have you ever felt like you're running through your day, but not actually getting anywhere? You wake up already tired. You answer emails before you even have your first sip of coffee. You sit in meetings that could have been an email, and by the time the day ends, it feels like you've been sprinting after something invisible, like chasing air. This isn't just you. It's happening to all of us. Somewhere along the way, busy became a badge of honor. We started believing that the faster we moved, the more valuable we were. If you weren't hustling, you weren't trying hard enough. That's what the world told us. But here's the hard truth. No matter how fast you run, you can't win a race with no finish line. Today, more and more people are waking up to a different idea. That real success isn't about squeezing 30 hours into a 24-hour day. It's about slowing down enough to actually live. What if slowing down wasn't giving up? What if slowing down was actually the bravest, smartest move you could make? Let's talk about the freedom that comes when you finally stop chasing air. Number I, how the hustle trap tightened. It didn't happen overnight. Back in the early 2010s, everywhere you looked, people were talking about hustling hard. Business leaders like Elon Musk and influencers like Gary Vaynerchuk were shouting, "Work 100 hours a week if you want to succeed." It sounded exciting. It made you feel like you could control your future if you just worked harder than everyone else. Then came the pandemic. At first, many people thought remote work would make life easier. No long commutes, no crowded offices. But something strange happened instead. According to a Stanford study in 2021, people actually started working longer hours at home. Work crept into weekends, dinner time, even late nights. There was no line between on and off anymore. At the same time, social media was showing everyone else's highlight reels, the new businesses, the fitness goals, the perfect homes. It wasn't enough just to work your job anymore. You were supposed to have a side hustle, a brand, a morning routine, and a six-figure dream life, all at once. The pressure to keep up became invisible, but heavy. Burnout didn't just feel like exhaustion. It felt like personal failure, like you weren't good enough if you needed rest. Psychologists are starting to call this toxic success syndrome. It's when success is no longer about living a good life. It's about performing for others and measuring your worth by how busy you look. And the worst part? No one really wins at that game. Number 2, the counterculture rising. Slow living 2.0. Something powerful is happening, and it's not loud or flashy. More and more people are quietly stepping away from the hustle race. They're not quitting work completely. They're not moving to a cabin in the woods. Well, some are, but most aren't. Instead, they are creating a new way of living. Slow living 2.0. Today's slow living isn't about doing nothing. It's about choosing what matters most and letting go of the rest. It's about working smarter, resting without guilt, and living at a pace that feels human, not robotic. On social media, movements like soft living and quiet thriving are growing fast. People are posting videos about enjoying slow breakfasts, taking long walks without their phones, and setting real boundaries at work. They're not bragging about working 80 hours a week. They're proud of creating calm, meaningful lives. According to Google Trends, searches for slow living have jumped by over 200% since 2023. It's clear people are tired of feeling like machines. A fresh idea popping up is called microfreedom. This means finding tiny ways to take back control in a busy world. It could be turning off notifications after 6 p.m. It could be choosing deep focus work over constant multitasking, or taking a full lunch break without answering emails. Instead of trying to escape the modern world completely, people are learning how to slow down inside of it. They're living slower on purpose, even when everything around them is speeding up. In a strange way, slow living today feels bold, because when you slow down, you're saying, "I don't need to prove anything. I choose to live differently." And that quiet choice? It's starting to look like the real revolution. Meet Leah. Thought she was living the dream. At 32, she had a great job at a big marketing firm in New York City. She wore stylish suits, went to fancy client dinners, and made more money than she ever imagined. On the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside, Leah was exhausted. Her days were packed with back-to-back meetings, endless emails, and 12-hour workdays. Weekends felt just as busy because she was always catching up. One morning, Leah sat at her desk, staring at her screen, and realized she couldn't remember what day it was. She felt like a machine, not a person. That was her breaking point. Leah didn't do anything crazy. She didn't sell everything and move to a farm. Instead, she made a smart, small change. She quit her job and started freelancing. She moved to a smaller, peaceful town 2 hours outside the city, where rent was half the price. Now, Leah works a 4-day week, picks her clients carefully, and takes long walks every afternoon. She makes a little less money, but she feels a lot richer, in energy, in time, and in joy. Leah says, "I didn't quit working. I just quit rushing through life." Number 3. The psychology of slowness, how it rewires your brain. Slowing down doesn't just feel good, it actually changes your brain. When you live at full speed all the time, your brain is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol. High cortisol levels make it harder to think clearly, remember things, or even feel happy. Over time, constant busyness can shrink parts of your brain linked to memory and learning. But here's the good news. When you slow down, your brain starts to heal. A 2023 study from Harvard found that giving yourself true downtime, even just 30 minutes a day, helps lower cortisol levels. This creates more space for deep thinking, creativity, and emotional balance. Psychologists call this cognitive bandwidth recovery. It means your brain needs real breaks to work at its best. Not fake breaks like scrolling social media, real ones like walking outside, reading slowly, or just sitting quietly. When you slow your pace, your brain shifts from survival mode into growth mode. This is when your best ideas pop up, when you solve problems more easily, and when you feel more connected to life. Even big companies are noticing this. Places like Shopify and Atlassian now encourage walking meetings, where employees go outside, walk, and talk because it leads to better ideas and lower stress. Slow living isn't just about feeling peaceful. It's about thinking smarter, being more creative, and building a healthier mind. Because sometimes, slowing down isn't falling behind. It's setting yourself up to go further than you ever imagined. Number 4. New practical ways to live slower and still be ambitious. Living slower doesn't mean giving up your dreams. It just means chasing them in a smarter, healthier way. 1. Work curation. Instead of saying yes to everything, slow livers choose carefully. They pick fewer projects but give them more energy and attention. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. 2. Time layering. Not every part of your day needs to be high speed. Many people now plan their time like waves, fast periods followed by slow ones. For example, deep, focused work in the morning and slower, creative tasks in the afternoon. 3. Digital deceleration. Technology moves fast, but you don't have to. Some people are using 0.75x speed to listen to podcasts, setting limits on scrolling, or even using apps that slow down their feed so they feel less rushed. 4. Joyful productivity. The goal isn't just to get things done, it's to enjoy the process too. This means adding small pleasures into your workday, like good music, breaks outside, or chatting with a friend before diving back into tasks. The truth is, you can still be ambitious and build a powerful life. You just don't have to destroy yourself doing it. When you live slower, you don't lose your edge, you sharpen it. Number 5. Money and slow living. How to afford it. One big myth about slow living is that it's only for rich people. But that's not true at all. You don't need millions in the bank to live at a slower, happier pace. You just need to be smart about money. Some people are moving just an hour or 2 outside expensive cities. They cut their living costs by up to 40% without giving up good internet or a fun lifestyle. You don't have to move to the middle of nowhere, just far enough to breathe easier. Portfolio careers. Instead of one full-time job, many slow living fans build portfolio careers. This means mixing freelance work, part-time gigs, creative projects, and even passive income like online courses. It's flexible, safer, and often more fun. Next, spend on time, not stuff. Slow livers focus their money on buying time, not things. That could mean hiring a virtual assistant for a few hours a week so you can spend more time with family. A LinkedIn study in 2024 showed that 45% of Gen Z now prefer having multiple income streams over chasing one big paycheck. Slow living isn't about being broke. It's about designing a life where money supports your freedom, not your stress. Slow living isn't about being lazy. It's a smart choice, a strategy for living better, thinking clearer, and feeling happier. In a world that moves faster every day, choosing to slow down is a bold move. It says, I know what matters, and I'm not afraid to live by it. As Carl Honore, a leader of the slow movement, says, the world will not slow down for us. We must choose to slow down for ourselves. Freedom isn't found in rushing harder. It's found in living fully, and that starts when you slow down on purpose. Want to learn how real people are building quiet wealth and achieving financial success? Then watch this video next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.